Mini-Max grid then, and Hugo Bentley-Ellis on the front row in front of Dean McDonald with Harrison Thomas and Luke Wooder. Tom Gamble and Josh Smith on row 3 ahead of Sandy Mitchell and Steph Charalambos. The O-plate Dan Zelos should be an interesting one from 10th alongside Tush Vivekannan. And it looks like we're going to have an interesting one. But on the first time of asking, we did have an accident that brought out the red flag. There is Adam Smalley, his kart unable to continue. So a single file restart is required, and off we go. Hugo Bentley-Ellis takes the lead then as they head through the first few corners. Second place, the 23 of Tom Gamble, as they filter down towards the hairpin for the first time on this restart. And it's looking very good at the moment for Hugo Bentley-Ellis. Second is Gamble. Third position is the 12 of Harrison Thomas, as everybody just filtering through. Looking like everything's clean for the moment. Wooder is there in 4th position on the Alonso kart. Josh Smith in the 58 is there in 5th position ahead of the O-plate Dan Zelos, which means that McDonald has slipped down to 7th position on this restart. So he's got a lot of work to make up then. It's going to be interesting to see who gets this one. You can see how close it is through the front of the field. From first to about 8th position, it's nose to tail, and everybody else still very close indeed. This could still go anybody's way. Bentley-Ellis hanging on from Gamble and Thomas at the moment. Get the feeling that Wooder and Smith are not going to be content sitting in 4th and 5th position. Here comes Wooder trying to make his move on Thomas up the inside. Very nice too, and Smith gets through as well, and it's a little bit close between McDonald and the 66 kart of Stefano Charalambos. Very close indeed. He just about manages. We've got a bit of a melee at the back of the field as well, somebody taking a tumble but managing to come back on again, so that's kind of broken the flow up a little bit at the front. But Wooder now finding himself up in 3rd position, having made that move on Thomas.
Connor Hall is the champion. He's not here this weekend. Unlike Cian Jewis, he's chosen not to come, Connor. He's dominated all season, and to be fair, the other drivers will probably like that because it gives them a chance to shine. And shining at the moment is Hugo Bentley-Ellis, having a great run today. Let's have a look at his line up to the hairpin. You see he's not defending. There's a yellow flag out in the distance, wave yellow in the hairpin, so no overtaking, but we do get some overtaking. Stefan Charalambos up the inside, and Dan Zelos went with him, and they haven't given the places back, and if that's been seen by the officials, that will be an instant black flag, but it depends whether they've seen it or not. The flag was clearly waving in the chicane. Charalambos went up the inside, Zelos went with him, and they haven't given the places back, but we'll have to see whether or not there is a black flag for them on the finish line. Well, there's a black flag there for Jack Martin. That's the 26 kart, but he wasn't the one that just did the overtaking. He's getting a black flag for something. At the moment, Zelos and Charalambos have got away with it.
Well, that's a bit of an odd moment. I didn't see a green flag, so maybe we're not quite seeing the whole picture. Up the inside, though, comes the 23 to take the lead for the time being. A very nice move there from Tom Gamble to head the field. Wooder went through with him, so down to 3rd place goes Hugo Bentley-Ellis. And having led from the start, that's not going to do his confidence any good at all. Smith has come through to 4th position ahead of Harrison Thomas, and these 5 have broken clear of the rest of the field by about 5 kart lengths or so. So Gamble is leading, Wooder, and then we go, oh, that's the 64. So that is Jack Young. He's out of the race by the look of it. Not sure what happened to him, but Jack Young is out of this one. And at the front, we've still got Gamble from Wooder, from Hugo Bentley-Ellis, Smith and Harrison Thomas, and they have made a bit of a break on Dan Zelos in 6th position.
Hugo Bentley-Ellis lost a couple of places, but he won't be worried about that. He makes a 1 place back, and Josh Smith goes with him. So Bentley-Ellis back up to 2nd. He's too experienced to be bothered about losing a couple of places in one corner. He just work his way back gradually. He's already done that, starting to get back to the lead now in 2nd place. So Wooder leads from Hugo Bentley-Ellis. Josh Smith there in 3rd. Harrison Thomas is 4th. Tom Gamble dropped from 1st to 5th, but again, he's too experienced to let that worry him. He's still close enough, if good enough, and we know that he is. 64, Jack Young gets led away by the Super 1 PR officer Graham Smith off to the ambulance just to get checked over. Meanwhile, out front, it's still as you were.
Very close indeed to see who's going to get this victory. Wooder just about hanging on by a thread. And here comes Bentley-Ellis up the inside to take the lead. Smith is in there as well. Smith's going to come through, and so is Harrison Thomas. And Wooder runs wide. Wooder slams the door shut just before he loses 4th position to Gamble. So that was saving the bacon as much as possible there for Wooder. Once he left the door open, it was easy pickings for the 3 men in front. So Bentley-Ellis leading. Smith now 2nd. Harrison Thomas 3rd. Josh Smith is taking his time about this, but look how he's worked his way through. He's now up at a second position as we've got this battle from McDonald, Mitchell, the 66 of Charalambos, and Zelos in there as well. They're all having a great scrap for sixth position, and as the leading 5 battle, they're now getting onto the back of this, so we could well have a 10-kart fight for the victory here. They come down to the hairpin one more time. Bentley Ellis, here comes Smith up the inside. Thank you very much, and he takes the lead. Thomas goes with him, and it looks like Wooder is going to try and get through as well. Side by side with Hugo Bentley Ellis. No, you're not getting through there, mate. Gamble is going to try and make the move, though, and he does. Very nicely done from Gamble. He took an opportunity, and now it looks like things are going to go from bad to worse, as Wooder looks like he could be about to lose 5th position here. He's got the swarming 6th position man McDonald, then with Mitchell, Charalambos, Zelos in the O-plate, and at the back of this queue we have the 53 in there as well of Jordan Brown-Nutley. Brilliant stuff. The 76 is keeping a watching brief on all of that. That's Samuel Gerard, so he has an outside chance of a good top 10 finish here. He can see this battle tightening up, and he knows that if anything goes wrong for any of them, he's going to get a chance. Bentley Ellis up the inside, gets Smith back through as number 12. Harrison Thomas hits the front, and that was a bit of a wayward moment there from the 23 of Gamble, as through comes the 66 of Charalambos. No, he doesn't. Oh, that was a bit desperate from Gamble. He kind of sliced his way back on the inside of Charalambos as if to say, no way, mate. And that ended up a bit messy.
Nothing wrong with that from Tom Gamble. He just held his line in the chicane, ran Charalambos right wide, but certainly nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. As Hugo Bentley Ellis goes up the inside of Harrison Thomas for the lead. So Bentley Ellis back into the lead. Harrison Thomas still there in second place. Smith in third, Wooder fourth. Here come the rest. Sam Gerard, the leading rookie, is up to 10th, and Charalambos, after that contact in the chicane, is down to 11th, and new leader Harrison Thomas. Smith goes with him. Bentley Ellis down to third. Wooder trying to get that third place, but has to drop back into fourth. Here come the rest of the karts into the chicane. That's Tom Gamble, 23, 53. First mention for Jordan Brown-Nutley, who's in the mix as well there. It's Harrison Thomas out front from Smith. Hugo Bentley Ellis, Wooder, 52 D McDonald goes up the inside of Sandy Mitchell, who's right there, close between the top 6. It's a 6-kart train. The winners should come from one of these 6 karts, but still plenty of action on the track left, plenty of time left. And Sandy Mitchell there with the orange helmet, easy to spot. Yarden Motorsport driver. Here comes the change for the lead. It's Smith that goes through now. Bentley Ellis goes with him. Wooder goes with him. Shoves the 12 kart Harrison Thomas, and Thomas goes from 1st to 6th in a blink of an eye.
Talk about dropping £5 and picking up 20p. That really couldn't have gone any worse for Harrison Thomas. He goes from 1st to the back of that queue, and now he's got to have all that work to do again as Josh Smith hits the front once more from Bentley Ellis, Wooder, McDonald. Then we have Sandy Mitchell, the Dayglow orange helmet, in 5th position, and then Harrison Thomas in the 12th. Then we have the 53 of Brown-Nutley in 7th place, leading that little queue. Oh, there's a little bit of bumping there as McDonald got a little bit too close to Wooder through the right-hander, and you can sense that things are getting very serious out front. Smith is holding that defensive line. He's not going to let Bentley Ellis come through. Mitchell could gain a few places here around the outside. He gets the undercut, and he could get Harrison Thomas here for 5th position again. No, he doesn't. He hangs back in 6th.
Smith took a defensive line into the hairpin. He won't be allowed to do that twice, according to the officials. He get a warning flag the first time, black flag the second time. But he's not defending now, though, to be fair, as he comes down to the final turn. That's a standard line into the final turn, clipping that curb closest to us here. The leads of karts out over the finish line one more time, and looks like is that 12 Harrison Thomas up to 4th place. It is. So it's still Smith from Hugo Bentley Ellis, who's been right at the front of this field for the whole race. Smith goes wide and then cuts back to the inside. That's the second time he's taken a defensive line. Got to be careful with that. He's not taking a defensive line, to be fair, coming down to the chicane. Into the chicane one more time. Sandy Mitchell on the... Oh, and that's Bentley Ellis who spun out. It looks like there may have been some contact there with Luke Wooder in the middle of the chicane. And all that has allowed Hugo Bentley Ellis to set the fastest lap, but it's all for nothing now. And there's more contact. Zelos involved as well. It's all kicking off. Zelos across the grass rejoins, but that's his race over.
How on earth do you pick somebody to blame for that one? It was just too many karts in too small a space. Other drivers will have their own opinions, of course, but as they head for the final lap, It really has shaken up the order. Josh Smith is out in front, Thomas second, McDonald is now third, and you can see that Thomas is defending. I think he's resigned to the fact that he's not going to get more than second out of this one, and he wants to hang on to it for as long as possible. Charalambos is running in fourth position ahead of Brown, Nutley, Mitchell, Gerard, Zelos, Gamble and Wooder rounding out the top 10 for the moment, and it looks like there's not going to be too much of a shake-up for positions on that score, but that really did put the cat amongst the pigeons, if you like. The man who came out on top of it was Josh Smith, and he's going to take the victory. There it goes. What a win for Josh Smith. 2 arms in the air. Thank you very much indeed, boys. Great race. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm very happy to take a win in the final race of the year.
So you made it up to third, and are you pleased with that?
Yeah, very pleased with that, yeah.
And what about next year? Are you going to stay with Minimax?
I'm not sure yet. Depends what's going to happen, so... But I'd just like to say a big thanks to all of AIM Motorsport, my whole family, and Shocks Engines. It's been a fantastic weekend.
The restart was pretty good for me. I stayed in third, didn't lose any positions. Then a few laps in after the restart, I got overtook down the bottom in Stratford, dropped back to about 6th. Then I gained all my positions back up. And on the last lap, I went for a move on Luke Wooder in the chicane. And Luke Wooder went wide and made contact with second place Hugo, which gave number 58 Josh Smith a gap. And I just had to defend the last few laps and hold Dean McDonald off. And I'd just like to thank Smurden Tree Services and all my sponsors back home in Wales, my mum and dad, and Paul Carr and Ogden Race Engines. Thank you.
After the red flag, it was a bit of a battle. Everybody was chopping and changing places, but at the end I got into the lead and went through the chicane, and a collision happened behind me, so I got the gap and just head down and went forwards from there.
Good job, Josh. Unfortunately, it doesn't put him in the final top 6 standings. Connor Hall, the champion who wasn't here this weekend, of course, takes it from Gamble. Zelos in 3rd position, Thomas 4th, ahead of Bentley Ellis and Cameron Roberts. More action from the junior Rotax coming up after the break, and that should be just as thrilling. Don't go away, more soon.